Hey everyone, my name is Gyan, and in today's video, I'm going to be working on this Medium article, which is just for beginners, and it dives into coding with 5 projects to boost our skills. Well, basically, my reason to do this is that I've been trying to learn Rust for a while now. I think I know and can code in Rust, but I feel like I haven't really practiced enough projects, so I thought this might be a nice idea to just live code and work on some cool projects alongside you all. And of course, you can also work with me on these projects, and it might just be a fun experience to code together. So this article has been written by Dan. Thank you, Dan. Seems like it's quite recent, so we don't have to worry about the versions and stuff. I already have Rust installed, so I am good with the setup environment and stuff. I'm just gonna dive right into the coding part of it, the project part of it, and maybe I will do each project in one video. I'll split it into 5. I'll figure it out as we go. So I have my bottle of water and some snacks with me. I hope you have that as well. And let's go. So I have a dedicated folder that I've created for Rust projects. The first one is a to-do list. So we are going to create a new Rust project, and they're using Cargo, which is the Rust package manager. I'm going to use the same, and I'm going to do Cargo new to-do app. Okay, so we have the app now. Let's get into it and let's start coding. I'm going to use VS Code as the editor of my choice, which is what I use often. You can see that the package already has source, a git ignore, and a cargo.toml that has all the configuration in it. Okay, so the main.rs is the file where you basically start writing your code. Uh, so here we are going to define a structure for our to-do items. Let's get to that. I'm going to move this. Sorry. I'm gonna write a structure to do item. So I'm going to avoid copy pasting the code because this is what writing the code actually helps me practice better. But you can, of course, copy paste from the article as well. See, I make some silly mistakes sometimes, and yeah, but it is what it is. Okay. So, and then I'm going to implement the to-do list operations. Okay. So we are going to add a list. We're going to list it, and we are going to complete the to-do items. So they have used a standard library, which is stdio. Okay. And we have the struct, yes, also here. And we have another struct, which is the to-do list, which has all the to-do items. So it has a vector, which is like an array data type of all the to-do items. So we struct list items vector of to-do item. And now we start our, okay. So in Rust, you can see a lot of these implementations. Implementations are actually implementations of traits, and traits are like interfaces that tell us what is going to be the blueprint of the code of the program itself. So here we have an implementation, and I'm assuming that the trait is going to be self-generated. But within the implementation is where we can define all the functions associated with our problem statement. So here we're going to have our function, which is a new function. Okay, it returns a to-do list. Okay. So we're going to create a new to-do list, right? This one. And the way to create it is just Okay. Items is the name. We're going to create a new vector and it will just return this. So it's like a implicit, the last statement is the implicit return. So we don't have to write the return keyword necessarily. Okay. So I'm assuming the next one is going to be adding to the list. Yes, it is. So add item. Okay. So it takes in a mutable reference to self. And then it takes a title, which is of type string. And since we are just going to add, I suppose the completed is going to be false and the ID we are going to auto generate. So let's do that. Does it return anything? No. Okay. Now let's see how the ID is auto generated. So we use self dot items, right, which is part of this. And we take the length of the items as U64 and we just add one. Okay, that makes sense. So the first element is just going to be, initially the length is going to be 0. So self dot items dot length. So length of this vector as U64 plus 1. So we have generated an ID now. Now we are going to define the new item. So the new item is going to be to do item. We have the ID and then we have the title and then Boolean is going to be false. Okay, we can just say the title will be title dot clone. Okay, let's check why are they using clone. We use The clone method is defined in the clone trait, which is a built-in trait in Rust. Every type that implements the clone trait can use the clone method. The clone method is useful in situations where you want to create a new value that is identical to an existing value, but you want to give the new value a new owner. Okay. So this new value is going to be part of the new item, so the new owner, and that's why we are going to be cloning it. So, okay. And then the completed is going to be false. This one we have 10. All right. Okay. Now, we are going to push this into the items. Oops. So we want to say new underscore item. Okay. And now we are printing saying that we have added a new item. Okay. I'll just print the title. Perfect. All right. Now the next one is going to be listing them. So basically just sort of displaying everything in the list. Yeah. So first we're going to check if the list is empty. Then you say your to-do list is empty. If not, we are going to run through a loop, get all of the items and display the status, the ID and the title. Okay, let's do it. If self dot items dot is empty, is empty function. So we're gonna say and then your to-do list is empty. Sorry. Else. Let's say your list, your to-do list. Yeah. Now Now we need to go through all the items in item. So we say for item in, and then we're going to access them using the cells. So here it is mutable because we're going to add new things into the items array, but it doesn't have to be mutable here because you're just going to access the array as is. So within this, I mean the vector, let's status is equal to item dot complete. Is it? Okay. Oh, so we are manually assigning a status, which is no or yes. Okay. So if item completed, it is checked. If it is not completed, then it is left empty. So if you can see the code here, if item dot completed, so if it is, then the status is checked. If not, it is empty. We can print now. Status, item ID, and title. Okay. So we are going to have three things. So we're going to say status, ID, and the title. Perfect. So, all right. Now that we are done with the listing, now the last one is completing. Okay. So we're going to say function complete items. So we are again gonna take a mutable reference because we need to change the status. And then we're gonna take an ID, which is of type 264. Are we returning anything? No. If let some item is equal to, so we are getting the item. If this ID exists, we are gonna store it in this item, and then we're gonna change the status that it is completed. So let's type this out because that's how we do that. If a let sum of item is equal to self dot item. So we go into the array, okay, and then we are gonna iterate through the array, okay, and we are gonna try to find I the item itself such that I dot id is equal to item. Okay, so we are gonna go into the vector. We're gonna iterate through the vector. We're gonna take the mutable value in a way that we are gonna iterate through all of the items and find an item whose ID is equal to the ID that we have passed. And then we store it into the item object. Okay. And if the item object exists, that's what we are checking for, sum, right? Then we are going to say item dot completed equal to true. And we're going to print something. What is it? Okay, that it is completed. Well, if it does not exist, then we are going to print that item with this ID is not found. Just print the ID itself because there is no item.id because that item does not exist. Okay. All right. So now that we have written our implementation, which has all the functionality that we need, now let's define our main function. So we are going to create a to-do list, which is just going to be a new to-do list. Okay. And now we are going to insert some values to just test it out. Okay. So, okay, we are going to display this to the user. Do you want to add item, list item, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Then choice is a new string. Okay. Then we are going to read what the choice is. So for that, we are going to use the IO, standard IO. So we say IO, STDIN, read line, the choice itself. And if it fails, then it says fail to read line. Okay. And we are going to match the choice and get it into, so extract that into the choice value from whatever you read from the read line. So let's copy this. Oh, actually, let me write choice is U32. So you're gonna match it. Okay, for this choice that you read, you're gonna trim it and then parse it. Okay. So we trim it and parse it into U32. And if it is okay, if it is a number, then we say, okay, number. Or if it is an error, then we just continue. Because we need them to enter something, right? Okay. So once we have the choice, now we got to check. Now we will match the choice, whether it is 1, 2, 3, or 4. So if the choice is 1, then what do? We're going to print saying enter the title of the new item. Okay, then we have to take the title. So let mute title. Okay, we create a new string and then we have to read the title. So let's see this. Okay, and then we need to call the function, which is add item. Say add item of item. So right, and in what will add the to-do list. Right. Okay. Add item. Let's see if this is okay. As is okay. Oh, we gotta trim it and make it a string. Okay. So let's do that. So if the match is 2, then they want to list all the items. Okay. In the list function, we already have a println. So I don't think we need to. Let's just do a dot this. So item. Yay. Okay. Oops. Oh no, I changed something. Oops. I had to do that here. Okay. And then if it is 3, okay, all right, I'm gonna add this println first. What does 3 say? We need to complete item. So we need to send a specific ID that we need to take from the user and mark that as completed. Okay. So we are gonna create this, take the ID, and then call this function. Let's do that now. All right, so let's add this one. Launch 3, enter the ID of the completed item. So let's create an ID. This doesn't have to be a string, so we can just have it as U64. Oh, no, okay. So the inputs have to be taken as a string, and then we have to change it as U64. So let's just do that. Okay, I'm gonna take the ID. Okay. And now we are gonna match this. Or we are gonna have to convert this to U64. So let's see. Okay. So we are doing the same thing as we did before, which is okay. So we match the choice that was sent by the user, and then if it is a number, then we assign it, or if it is an error, then we continue it until they actually give us an item. Sense. Let's do this. And then once we have the ID, then we need to call our function, which is complete items. And this is a part of the to-do list, to-do list dot items, and the ID that we receive. Okay. Now, is there a fourth option? No, but here we have given a fourth option, which is exit. So let's see. So do we just print something saying thank you? Okay. Exiting the program. And then, yeah. So like switch case, we just take, and then there is a default, which is underscore, which says that it's an invalid choice. Please enter a number between 1 and 4. Okay. So this is done. Let's save this and let's try to build our code. Okay. So standard IO. Oh, it's the issue. Standard, I have to say use. Ah, I thought I missed the use. Right. Yeah. Okay. Compiling, finished. Let's run it. Okay, I'm gonna add an item to complete a Rust tutorial. Okay. So I'm gonna add another item, which is to record 5 videos in a week. I'm gonna add another item, become better experience, and don't type in paste. This is not a to do, obviously, but well, okay, I'm gonna list all the items. Complete a Rust tutorial. Okay, so I'm gonna complete the first one because this is almost done. I'm gonna add and then woohoo! Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So the first tutorial, that is the To-Do app, is completed. Pretty basic, but I think some of the interesting things that we used extensively are match definitely is what I think you would use quite commonly. So match and then the name of the variable that you want to match, and then you open close spaces, and then you can write your conditions like switch case. So this is interesting. What could be the potential value of this variable? And then also being able to match, get the result and assign it to another variable. This is an interesting use case as well. So yeah, this was fun. And I'm going to work on the next tutorial, which is the calculator app in the next video. So I guess we are gonna be releasing 5 videos. So one for each of them, and watch out for upcoming videos. And yeah, thank you so much for watching this. I hope you're doing this as you watch. That's the whole point of this, that you code along in a semi-live fashion. And yeah, I hope to continue this streak and deliver more videos. Thank you so much. Have a good one.